guys? Welcome to Steel Pirate Media, episode 32? 31, 32, 32. We're just through the divisional round at this point. Actually, last night was the College Football National Championship, which, I don't know if anybody watched. I think Josh did. Did you watch any of it, Ronnie?
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is probably a good place to start. And in my opinion, Ohio State put fucking belt to ass in a way that Notre Dame had a chance to come back, but they didn't even realize they had that chance and squandered it because of the way they were beating them up and down the field. It was kind of to be expected. At least for me, I didn't see another way that game was going to go. That late touchdown was, sparked a little bit too late in Notre Dame. There's definitely some things.
They
I
had
think.
some life there at the end, dude. They had
Too little, too late. Too little, too late in that regards.
Though, they probably should have went for it.
Yeah, you got to go for that, but
yeah, that was such a
they don't.
weird call. And then they got down the field. They got the touchdown right after. So I was like, oh shit, maybe that three actually would have.
I'd be interesting to see.
Going to get that 3 and out, I guess.
I'd be interesting to see now that we bring this up. I'd be interesting to see the numbers on their big plays in that game, and where the ball was on that fourth down when they kicked it, because if I had to guess, like,
kick and miss too.
Yeah, that miss is huge, but if I had to guess, it's not like they were exactly this big play machine or anything the whole game, and then but not in that game. They didn't have a bunch of big plays, like it was some.
Not until way later.
Right. Well, exactly, and that's the only reason I think that he went for the kick there is because I think Freeman knew that his limits a little bit, and his limit at that point was, his team isn't going. We don't statistically have plays that are this big, so our best option right now is to kick a field goal. That would be my only takeaway from why he would kick that field goal. The only other reason why he would kick that field goal is he's in with Vegas or somebody's in the spread, and I don't know. We can get into that later.
Because it was 10 yards. That's why he kicked it.
Was it 10? I thought it was more like 12 to 15. I apologize. I didn't think it was exactly 10.
I think it was, yeah, because it was 4th and goal, and they were right on the fucking 10.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a penalty involved and some other things. I could be wrong, but again, I'm gonna look at it, to be honest with you.
The series right before, or not even the series right before that, before they had got that series of downs, Ohio State held them to 4th and 5, and like he didn't even hesitate. He went for it on 4th and 5, and he converted. So it's like, so if you were gonna kick it 4th and goal, like why wouldn't you keep more time on the clock and kick it 4th and 5?
Right. He got scared. He got scared of that condensed.
That's what made it really
condensed red area, bro. He got scared of that condensed red area, bro, because
and
fourth and goal, and all the DBs are just be sitting at the goal line, bro, just literally sitting there waiting for somebody to, But still, bro, you have that quarterback. If you're a good play designer and you're in the national championship, so there's no reason to suggest that you're not. You should have something. It's an unlikely situation, but have your quarterback roll out, buy time. Somebody get open, or have a play where you throw it short of the sticks and you have blockers in front and he can make his way into the end zone, because like I said, they're going to be sitting at the sticks.
Or like worst case scenario, you get at least 5-6 yards there and it goes down, and all of a sudden Ohio State gets the ball at like the 3 or the 4.
Right.
Has been like the defense that you believed in, why you kicked it in the first place. Like, you don't think that defense would have loved to have like a fucking 2-yard field?
Short field, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It was all too little, too late. Notre Dame had a great season. Ohio State had a great season.
You want me to tell you what it was? I just pulled the stats up. I'll tell you what it was. Ohio State, 214 rushing yards.
Ooh, yeah.
Notre Dame, 53.
Yeah, and that's all they did all year was run.
Notre Dame.
It's like they beat them at the fucking game. They made them one.
A game like that, I'll have the worst quarterback looking like the better one, because I think Riley Leonard is actually better than Will Howard, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, you have no run game.
Bro,
A couple mistakes here and there, a couple misses as well. But like,
agree with that, but Howard's surrounded with so much talent.
bro, do you guys understand number 4 was left one-on-one 2 times? One of them was the big play at the end of the game when they kicked that field goal. And the other play was, I think, the first touchdown of the game, and they played him in man coverage.
Yeah.
Then there's a third play.
Ever see him in man coverage, throw him the ball.
Bro, there's a third play on the first series of the game. It's third down, or the first drive of Ohio State. It's third down, bro. They leave 4 one-on-one on a short route. Boom. Bro, breaks his route, catches the ball, doesn't get away from the DB, but gets the first down. It is one of the most impressive things I've seen. And then you think about it, it was a freshman, and Notre Dame had their freshman All-American corner on him, and he was still doing it. Bro, stop it. That kid is disgusting, bro.
Yeah, no, he is all year, too. He's going to be...
Bro, they're saying...
football player in the country this year, and he's a freshman. They're going to have him another 2 years.
Bro, they're saying he could arguably be the best receiver in the draft this year.
No, it wouldn't even be arguable. He'd be head and shoulders.
Like, even at his age right now. Like, that's crazy.
No, he's head and shoulders. He's the best college football player in the country this year as a freshman.
Did you watch him?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, he's disgusting.
And he's still growing.
Yeah, he was making plays week 1.
Bro, he looks like a child. He looks like a little boy.
Yeah.
And he is whooping on 30-year-olds at this point with all the extra years everybody can get and shit, bro. What?
He'll be a top 5 draft pick.
It's actually kind of crazy how like athletics like work when it comes together with like the mind too, because truthfully, your like athletic prime speed wise comes like in your early 20s. Strength wise, it comes in your late 30s. Mentally, probably more somewhere later. So it's like I watched this whole thing on they did all the track athletes, specifically Usain Bolt was like the main one they used, but then they dove deeper into like a wider category of track athletes, and they found that the peak of like your speed was like 23, 24 years old. And what do you know? Usain Bolt was 23 when he broke the world record, and he never really came close to that number again.
Oh, bro, how old are these kids when they come out and they go to the combine?
Yeah, like
and
21,
they're running those, and they're running
crazy numbers, right?
A redshirt senior would be 23.
Right.
Bare minimum.
Right.
I don't know. Next thing up, second hottest thing. The Ravens shit in the bed.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's just I think Mark Andrews is definitely a part of it. You can't ignore because he had the fumble too. The second part of it is on that 2-point conversion. And football is too hard for it to always be on time, so I understand that. So it really isn't the most valid excuse. But that ball from Lamar needs to come out on time. He like pumped it a couple times, then throws it, and it's not. He's out in the flat. That ball should be like out here, leading him. He has to like turn back. But you're Mark Andrews. You're getting paid crazy money. Like you have to make that catches right in your chest.
And with Nose Flowers, you're the guy.
Exactly.
Third and whatever, like you're the one who has to catch the ball.
Yeah. And then Lamar, he doesn't have one multiple turnover game all year, if I'm not mistaken. Has 2. A big time overthrow interception, and then the fumble, which got ran back 40 yards. Those are just 2 big, huge plays. Yeah. And then Harbaugh.
Bro.
Mike Tomlin has 5 playoff wins since his last Super Bowl, and that's not good. Harbaugh has 3. And he's had a franchise quarterback for all those years. Mike really probably shouldn't even have been in some of those playoff games, if we're being honest. But Harbaugh, I mean, dude, they've drafted, I think they lead the league.
Bro.
They've drafted like 43 Pro Bowlers in the last like 10 years or something like that. Like they are stacked, thin stacked. Back to dude, that line they have like Marshall Yonda in them. And Lamar's only beat Ryan Tannehill, Rookie C.J. Stroud and Russell Wilson last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Bro, listen.
It's tough.
So I listened to 92.7 The Fan in the morning. I called in. I haven't called in since. I called in. I dropped a hard F bomb live. It was a little embarrassing. As I realized as soon as I did it, and I literally said, "Oh, sorry, man, gotta go. Have a good one," and hung up. And like faster than they could hang it up on the air. It was kind of funny. But regardless, bro, that was one of my points. People want to say Tomlin's on the hot seat about this, that, and the third. This dude Harbaugh has had the MVP of the league. Should have been 3 times already, maybe even 4, right? And he's not getting it done. And he had that dude on a rookie deal for one of those years, 2 of those years, and he's still not getting it done. But it's Tomlin's on the hot seat. I mean, we all know, like, it's wild to me.
No,
It's
yeah,
wild.
it's crazy. Zach Taylor has the league's passing leader, the
Triple crown
at receiver, and the leading sack guy. And it's like, well, we finished strong, so we're okay. It's like, yeah, what have you done for me lately to the fucking max? Holy shit.
It's wild work, bro. It's wild work.
Like, it really is. You could just change an MFer's mind, bro, in 2 seconds by just doing
Think about
something good today.
just to go off of, and this is just what the NFL is now. Sam Darnold was 2 games away from guaranteeing himself a 4 or 5 year contract and at least $20 million a year, and then he had a fucking Sunday night game and then a Monday night game, and he's maybe going to be a 2-3 year 10-15 million competing for a job somewhere. Like, after that 2 games, dog, that's what you get. Well, that's what you get is the NFL. You get 2 games. Like, are you actually him? It's like, no, apparently or not. And then everybody, and y'all are Steelers fans. Y'all don't know what the quarterback situation is next year. Would you be excited about a Sam Darnold right now?
Yeah.
Especially for a price that you're talking, yeah.
Yeah, because you can run like a full. That's my thing with like when you don't like Geno and stuff because you see the product on the field, but what you're not seeing is the way that you can, like, for instance, you have Russell Wilson. You can't design an offense over the middle of the field. He simply can't see it, won't throw it, gets happy feet. Geno might throw interceptions that drive you crazy, but you can game plan the whole field. You can attack the whole field with him. So beyond like the actual product, like of on like the field, there is something to being a quarterback that can make. That's why I like a guy like Kirk Cousins. People, why does Kirk keep getting contracts? Why do people keep believing in Sam Darnold? Because he'll sit in the effing pocket and throw it all over the field, and you can actually design an offense around that. You know what I mean? You're not handicapped. Like, being handicapped, bro, that's a life you don't want to be living.
I'm curious to see what happens to Darnold next year.
No, it's definitely curious.
Stay there and with JJ, like,
I mean, think about.
and Dan Jones, like, their quarterback room is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, it definitely could be a lot worse. I think you if you're them, you bring Darnold back and you have him and McCarthy compete next year, and maybe even McCarthy sits 2 years if Darnold is still balling, because you know.
So
They won't do it.
back to Lamar. I said last year he was the AFC's Dak Prescott. I think still kind of holding true.
I mean, I think that's only one respect that you can put him there. I think Lamar is obviously a lot better.
Yeah, but it's
quarterback
what
than
I get
passer.
to. What I get to is the big game thing. Doesn't matter regular season, big games, the playoffs. He just isn't the guy. Period.
Yeah, but he was the guy against Pittsburgh, division rival.
Bro,
He had success
okay.
against them. But the thing is, though, against
What is his record overall, brother?
You gotta look at the,
Lightning strikes.
conditions.
I'm just being real.
Okay, but you got to look at the conditions they were playing, and he put the ball on the dude's chest at the end of the game. Like I said, it could have been on time, but was it good enough? Yes.
Oh, bro,
MVP
Mark,
made a play good enough.
bro, Mark Andrews is a whole different story. Bro, the drop is more. If you go look at his stats, that dude fumbles once a year. If you go look at the big tight ends, they fumble every other year. Like, respectfully, that was his first fumble of the year. It happened. That's Mark Andrews does that. Mark Andrews has a 69% catch percentage, though, which is higher than all of the other great tight ends. So that, to me, the drop, to me, is more out of character than the fumble. Granted, they're both big plays, but and I'm not putting that whole game on Lamar either. Because if truly, bro, you look at it, especially those two plays that I'm talking about, bro, like they changed the game, and there's nothing Lamar could. I mean, again, you said he could maybe put it on time a little better, but I mean, you got to catch those, brother. Big time moments. You got to make big time plays.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that ties the game right there.
At least.
Josh Allen probably goes down the field and scores, though, if I had to have guessed.
He didn't have to do anything in that game. He didn't have to do a fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do any. Josh Allen didn't set the world on fire. They just protected a lead that they never didn't fucking have. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's a tough fucking barn to play in, dude.
Yeah.
That was the coldest. That was also the coldest game of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry's entire lives.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, like it did seem. I mean, I think some of it should be, and I'm a big like I personally, from what I witnessed, like I literally blame Mark Andrews for that loss. But I have to at some point look at Harbaugh and like, God, dude, why are you like just stop overcomplicating this? This shit has worked so well all year. Fuck, it worked the last time you played Buffalo this year. Give that big motherfucker the ball. Like, look at historically, even back to Tennessee. Look at historically what Derrick Henry does to the fucking team. Like, he fucks them up.
This is what I'll say.
Imagine they had a Ben Johnson calling plays, bro, with Lamar back there.
Oh yeah, no
then
doubt.
All of a sudden, that narrative that came up that I heard so much of last year, it's like Lamar's trying too hard to be the passer. He's trying to like put on the show. And
Nah, he does that.
It's like, bro,
he does this.
No, I'm thinking first half of that last game, it was just he wanted it down the field. Like he ain't calling fucking plays, but he wanted it down the field. Lamar clearly wasn't like, "Yo, did you forget about the recruiter that runs 22 miles an hour behind me?" Like he was like down for whatever. Like if this is the game plan he thinks is gonna work, then we're gonna fucking do it. I don't know, man. Like, he had a gnarly fumble. And that's probably the biggest flaw in his whole career to this point is Lamar absolutely fumbles the ball.
So
absolutely, he fumbles the ball.
So one thing I did hear too about like coaching and game planning and stuff, kind of to your point about that's what worked last time. With Buffalo losing that regular season game, I'm willing to bet the efforts they went into creating a winning game plan, especially this time of year, not already having to win, in my opinion, could cause a more in-depth look at the last time they played, rather than a team that's coming off of that win, etc. I'm not saying I know that. I'm not trying to call anybody lazy, but I think it definitely, me personally, if I lost that game, I'm definitely going to fucking really look at it long and hard and not take the same game plan in the second time if I lost rather than if I won. Right? You know what I mean? That I don't know. It's just an interesting outlook on how that could work.
If you look at the offensive play calling in the first half, it's like Harbaugh knew that they were going to be watching film and they weren't. He convinced himself like they're not going to let Derrick Henry run on him. So he just put Lamar in these weird spots where it's just like dump it down the field, dude. Find Rashad Bateman. Like, come on, bro. His wide receiver one in that fucking game was Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, dude.
That's what he's getting.
Come on, bro. Like, Zay Flowers' presence in that game really might have won. And I didn't think it was going to be that big of a variable, but after like watching it, I was like, damn, Zay Flowers would have been real handy in this fucking game, dude. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was a massive. He's their best receiver, like big time. So, yeah.
Like, best receiver Lamar's ever had there.
Probably, yeah, he is.
I don't even think it's fucking debate. Who else? Brown.
Yeah. It's actually sad that it's not close. They haven't done a good job in that department.
And then it's just no depth, so it's then boom, like Zay Flowers is there. It's like, all right, this Rashad Bateman, wide receiver one today. What? And then we have what? Nelson Aguilar. What? It's crazy. And I understand there's not a ton of teams in the league that have dope like 1-2s or God forbid, 1, 2, 3.
I mean, does
really
Buffalo? Would you say Buffalo has a dope? I mean, I guess since the pickup of Cooper, they do. Yeah, a decent.
No, well, they barely even utilized Cooper. It was
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but he's probably soaking up one of the better coverage guys and stuff like that. I mean, he's not exactly a spring. Cooper isn't exactly a spring chicken, you know. Like,
Buffalo definitely doesn't have a great
very
receiving core.
good.
But he's good, very good. Yeah.
no, I'm not trying to take anything away
But
from
no,
him.
but Josh Allen throws to the open receiver. He doesn't care. As long as you're wearing a Bills jersey and you're open, he's gonna give you the opportunity to catch the ball. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'll never take anything away from Josh Allen. He's phenomenal. That's not the game that we necessarily were hoping for. Like me personally, I have a close friend who is a massive Bills fan, who was on one of our episodes of the podcast, who I wanted for him, the Bills, to win that game. I could not see a world where they could beat the Ravens. And then I watched it happen. And it wasn't because Josh Allen had some lights out. He just didn't have to. It didn't happen that way.
No, he
The Ravens kind of beat themselves.
didn't make the mistakes.
Not taking anything away from the Buffalo Bills, but the Ravens kind of beat themselves.
Yeah. Turnover. That's what turnovers. Turnovers in the playoffs. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever that's part of what made Bill Belichick and Tom Brady as successful as they were for so long, because it's not because they were doing this ridiculous shit, dude. It's because they just didn't make mistakes. Like whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is gonna win that fucking game. When it's that good of a team versus that good of a team. Look at the Lions and the fucking Commanders, dude. Like the Commanders didn't punt. No fourth down, no punt. What? It's gonna be tough to beat that fucking team, dude, if you can't get them off the field.
That's crazy.
It's the third time Jaden Daniels did it this year. No punts.
Yeah, that is nuts.
He's an animal. Watching him in that game, but I also think Aiden Hutchinson is a difference maker in that game.
Bro, Aiden Hutchinson, there's so many difference makers in Detroit that weren't there. Like they were banged up.
Yeah.
I thought they'd win that game and then lose the next one. But I wasn't surprised.
Bro, it's because those players are all banged up. Bro, those players are all banged up because they play so hard for Dan Campbell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, there's some truth to that. But also, it's like, when do we look at the training staff?
Yeah, I think the same was true in Baltimore a few years ago. Bro, there was I get 2 or 3 years ago when they were super hurt.
It's like, bro, y'all play in a dome. Y'all play in a dome. Y'all play in a dome on turf. Like the weather's the same every game. How is everybody damaged like this? It's crazy.
All right, so I brought up a topic today. Do we give Andy Reid some of the same credit that we give like Bill Belichick? I mean, I know he's not the GM and the head coach, but like I think there is some merit to this if they do go complete a three-peat. Like,
I think they have to complete a three-peat for Andy Reid to get his flowers. That's one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't he did it a couple times in Philly, right?
Yeah, dude. That's what I mean.
But yeah.
He went once or twice?
Yeah, with McNabb.
Yeah, I think once.
McNabb, and then he was the first one to sign Vic out of prison.
He went to like 4 AFC Championship games there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the Steelers signed Vic out of prison, and then that offseason he went to Philly. Could be wrong. But no, I just think that, like, there has to be... I mean, obviously...
Second best all time? Is that crazy? Yeah, I think he is to me.
Probably where he ranks right now.
I'm not saying he's the GOAT, but, like, I don't know. You gotta keep him in that conversation. Obviously, we saw that it was Brady that did all of it.
He has the potential to overtake him.
Yeah, Brady left, right? Like, and did it again, and I can hear that. And obviously, we saw the talent that was, but I just don't think there's enough credit given to Reid, and sometimes that he kind of gets lost in the muck of the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. And I know Andy Reid probably isn't the guy to go try to take that from him by any stretch. But at the same time, I think as
I
a
feel like he gets his
football,
flowers for real.
bro, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Alex Smith was an MVP the year before before Mahomes
Mahomes.
even came out. He always has success, bro.
Yeah.
Always,
No,
always.
I just
You check his jacket.
that dude is, I don't know. He's a really good coach, especially offensively, whereas Belichick was like the defensive. I don't know. I think
I don't know how great of a father he is, but yeah,
Yeah.
really good football, real good football coach. One of the best of all time.
yeah, no.
Yes.
In fact, I agree. What's up with the Chiefs and the refs though?
It's getting tough to watch their games. I promise you that. And now I can't remember who it was, but within the last week, somebody asked me, "Are you one of the people who believes that the NFL is rigged?" And I had to think about it. I do a lot of gambling on the NFL. I mean, every weekend, and I have for half a decade now. And I don't think it's rigged, but man, dude, especially on the main stage in the primetime game playoffs, it's like now everybody's seeing it. It's like, say what
I
you
think
want,
there's
dude.
like a
Pat Mahomes can
natural.
get some calls. Like Pat Mahomes gets
Yeah.
those calls.
Wild work.
The stars get the calls, man.
I heard.
Look, listen, sometimes for sure that's true, but now it's like, do you remember the way? I'll speak for myself. I remember the way that I hated the referee situation with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. And this really could just be a massive compliment to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes because it's like I'm watching it again. It's this
It's
same thing.
worse to me,
I was
honestly.
But
bitching about I was bitching about the same refs with the same top dog with the motherfuckers that won every damn game and won every Super Bowl.
Oh,
It's
bro,
like
you
is it
remember?
just part of the territory? Am I
Well, you remember what
here?
they? You remember what they said after the Steelers Seattle Super Bowl? They always used to say too when the Steelers were winning, like Steelers get all the calls. The refs love the Steelers. Da, da, da. I remember that when I was young,
so
bro. I always used to hear that.
I
We're not even
I I have there's only one coincidence, if you will, that I think this could fall under, and it's something with the conversation pre-game or mid-game, because the coaches will bring things to light like, hey, we see number so and so do this, watch out for that. We see, you know what I mean? And in that light, are they exposing certain techniques where they know they can, Pat Mahomes will put a very good ball out there, and we know the technique you're going to run, so we're just going to use that against you, period, point blank, because we know exactly when your hands are going to come, etc. You know what I mean? That's the
That would make
only
sense if your offensive
coincidence.
tackle wasn't just simply like it's so much more simple than that. That's
I
like
understand. That's all I'm
like
saying. It's
simply
not.
the offensive tackle is getting a head start on every single snap, and it's not called. Patrick Mahomes is
But
flopping. Like it's not like some well thought out like deviant plan that they're just smarter than everybody else somehow
exactly.
exploiting something because Patrick Mahomes is so accurate. He can put a ball in a place that exploits some crazy technique that nobody else can do in the history of the game. No,
Thank you.
that's not happening.
All right, so then
I think
it's
there's
not
a big difference between
it's not a skill thing. I'll buy it.
No, I think there's a big difference between like you watch coaches and certain players, but especially coaches will talk to refs before the game. And a lot of times I assume in that conversation is, hey man, we've been watching a lot of film on, number 26 over here. He puts his hands on the receiver a lot. We're gonna be thrown in his direction. Please pay attention to this today because I saw it at least 9 times in the film that I watched last week.
And it
It's
didn't
like,
get
please
called.
just watch this guy. Please don't just call a fair game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that conversation happens. There's a huge difference between that conversation happening and 3rd and 11. The guy scrambles out, slides, 2 players collide into each other, and they brush against him, and the flag comes out for what was it? Unnecessary roughness, dude. And then he's LeBron James on the sideline, just like that's not. Hey, we've been watching a lot of film. Keep your eye on this. That's just begging for a flag, and like you have the luxury of getting it 50% of the flag.
All right, so listen. Hold on.
One
Go
other
ahead.
thing too, though, is just what Josh was saying though, is just like you guys or like both of you said with how you go to the refs, you say, hey, look, we seen this on film, y'all gotta watch this today. Well, how many times do you think the opposing teams haven't fucking went to the refs and been like, "Yo, Jawan Taylor is literally." You want to see the Twitter thread? You want to see what everybody's talking about? You want to see what's trending on Twitter right now? Literally, like every
Yes.
Like
single
this dude's
week.
at a false start every snap for 17 straight weeks.
All right.
Like, and it's
So
like it just doesn't stop.
So I heard Tony Romo when he was calling the Baltimore and the Buffalo game make a comment because there was something that happened pretty close to out of bounds and it wasn't a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And his comment was, "Well, you might not have seen the flag because of the way that player could impact the outcome of the game." So what that sounded like to me was what Tony Romo was alluding to was these refs are throwing the flag based on the impact that the individuals, which is different and not the same for everybody, which is different based off of the impact they could have if said player was not able to compete because of an injury. And that seems absurd to me.
Yeah, that
But
does seem absurd.
but if you go look at it and you go think about it, is it far off? Like, is that not what we see happening? Like, you'll see a
No, I mean,
tight
you have
end.
a
You'll
former
see a
that's
Pro
tight
Bowl
end.
quarterback playing that.
Protecting the
That's
good
all you really
players.
need to know. There's
You,
a Pro Bowl quarterback on live national TV saying that.
bro,
He's not worried about the repercussions of him saying that because it's becoming really fucking obvious.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I
Which
just
sucks, dude, because you just don't want. Here's the thing, bro. Like the Chiefs are a good team. Like they are so damn talented and so well coached. They have so much generational talent on that team. It's like you don't need these fucking calls to win games.
No,
Like you should be winning these games.
the craziest one was was it? It might have even been during the regular season. I think when they played the Texans. I'm not sure, but I think it was during the regular season. They literally there's a there's a strip sack on Mahomes. They pick it up, run it back for a touchdown. Like literally 10 minutes goes by, commercial break, everything. The ref comes out and goes, "Yeah, actually, it wasn't a fumble. It's not a touchdown, but what it is roughing the passer on the defense." It's just like, dude, what? And like,
Like yeah, you can't really. You're the guy who's not supposed to fumble with the words. Like you're the one to have a concise answer to what just happened.
bro,
You're the only one who has to have an answer. You're like trying to figure it out yourself.
it's
What is the
just it's
protocol to be an
crazy.
NFL referee? You don't just
Ronnie
apply and just get a fucking job.
Ronnie made a really good point about this whole referee thing, bro. Beginning of the season, he was like, you said something like, it, if we all that are watching this game from our couch can see when something is wrong or right and you guys can't, then there's obviously something not. There's obviously
Right,
something
because
wrong. Like you're not
somebody
doing
gets
this the right
assaulted,
way.
you can hire one of us.
Yeah, right.
And like that's like the lowest fucking thing you could do. Like hire a actual ref or something or whatever, somebody who does knows the game, who's been in the
Blandino,
game, and
the
UFL.
the
yeah, exactly. Like
We talk about it once a fucking month.
the
it shouldn't
the
even be one person. It should just be somebody just that has the control of whoever can get the replay quickestly in. And I don't know if that's a word, quickestly, but yeah.
If New York can call in and say,
Quickest to get
"Hey,
it
that
in.
guy hit his head a little too hard. Let's take him off the field for a fucking play here. Maybe have him examined." If they're able to do that quickly,
Yeah,
they're
exactly. There you
definitely able to
go.
say that
Bro,
was not
there
a
you
fucking pass
go.
interference.
Exactly. And it doesn't even need to be.
It's
I
not
don't
like
even
we're
care.
lacking the fucking technology. It's just they're not implementing it.
Yeah.
it's not like the
Yeah.
teams and the players aren't also using the TV copy to gain knowledge in the off time. They use that. Why isn't the NFL using it in real
Could you
time?
imagine? Could you imagine going
What?
over film when you're about to go play the Kansas City Chiefs and you have to explain to your players like, guys, they're gonna get some fucking calls. Like they're gonna get almost all the calls. Like we have to play fucking flawlessly.
Watch it be like some money thing where, like, because if you think about it, they're basically saying, oh, well, we don't want the games to be longer. Well, you don't want the games to be longer, but you keep adding more games to the season. So I wonder if, like, there's some money thing where, like, games are projected to be 4 hours, and if they go to 4 hours and 30 minutes, it costs the NFL more money. Because it really doesn't make sense. If you're
Bro, it might. What? The NFL, bro. So
I mean, it would make the games
you,
like 10 or 15
have
minutes
you guys
longer,
watched?
maybe.
You guys have watched the NFL before? Sometimes when the game is going on in overtime and stuff, sometimes it'll go over and they'll show it over whatever's coming on next. Other times they won't. I guarantee it's something in that contract where the TV deal is like, listen, you can be over top of all of the other shit, but it's gonna cost you this much per minute, and that's probably crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's probably crazy.
That's not because because if you think about it, you want to add more games to the season so you can make more money. Obviously, it's really just sometimes it's just not that complicated to figure out. Like, they're adding more games to the season. Wonder why? Like, it's not to protect the players. It's not to have a better. You're definitely not going to have a better outcome of things because, I mean, all that's going to happen is the best players in the league probably aren't going to be playing that last week, anyways. And if they are, then there's a chance they get injured, and you don't get to see what you want in the playoffs. So it just doesn't make sense.
No, but to Josh's point, if we're going to keep talking about the Chiefs, we might as well talk about this Chiefs-Bills game because I think. I mean, obviously that other game is a divisional game. They're both the AFC and the NFC championship games are outstanding. Mm-hmm. But the Chiefs and Bills, let's start with that. Who you got, Josh? What's up? What's your thoughts here?
It sucks, dude, because it's like I believe the Bills can win and almost should win. But it's like, at this point, like we just talked about it for I don't know how long. It's like, how do you, like, is it even gonna matter? You know what I mean? Like, this is how hard these games are starting. Like, it's starting to get hard to watch Chiefs games. You know what I mean? Like, let Josh Allen get his fucking ring, man. Like, for real. Like, because he earned it at this point. Like, and he'll earn it in that game if he has to. But it's like, don't, please, God, if the refs don't determine the outcome of this game, I think the Bills win. Absolutely.
It'll be interesting. Absolutely. It's hard to beat Mahomes twice in 1 year.
Sure is.
Reed too.
Well, if we're applying the same logic that I applied to the Baltimore Buffalo game where the losing coaching staff put in more work, you're really in for a long haul if we're going to also state in the same hour that Andy Reid is maybe one of the greatest of all time. You know,
absolutely.
Like, that could be a long day to be a Buffalo Bill. However, I personally think if as long as the Bills can, like we say, beat the referees, I think they could absolutely. I could see them winning this game. And
they did it once.
And if there's any other team, if there's any other team that could show up in the conditions that could be Arrowhead this weekend, at least the Bills are somewhat familiar. You know, at least they got a little bit of that taste of that winter. It's not going to look like hopefully like that Dolphins Chiefs game did last year. That was a little atrocious. But no, I think I got the Bills in that game. Rondo?
I just have to go with the Chiefs. I want the Bills to win, though. Let me say that.
So are the Bills the new Lions now? Like, are the Bills?
Everybody wants to win.
Yeah. Like, if there's any team.
Yeah. I mean, at this
Washington,
point, whoever's playing the Patriots,
it could still be good. It could be Washington versus Buffalo. That's the fan hopeful. Fans are hopeful for that one.
That'd be great. But at this point, the real fan hopeful is just don't let the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Super Bowl because they're not going to lose it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
The last 2 Super Bowls that the Chiefs played and the team that they played against was roster-wise substantially better. Like,
I don't know.
Like, head shoulders better than the Chiefs, and it never fucking matters.
Crazy, it really is.
What about the?
So just don't let the Chiefs, please, Josh Allen, please, Buffalo,
What about the
please.
NFC game?
I don't care who wins that one. I hope the Commanders do. That'd be cool, But at the same time, it's like how big is Philly's window? I don't have anything against either team, really. It to me that two NFC East teams are in the NFC Championship game. That's fucking wild. That's wild.
Yeah, no.
After this whole season of the NFC North being this fucking, dick knocking powerhouse, and then it's two NFC East teams, and one of the NFC East teams has a stud quarterback who went ape shit and has already broken so many records, and then the other one, their quarterback, they haven't had a quarterback throw for over 150 yards in over a fucking month.
Yeah,
like the way
crazy.
that Philly is winning these games is not sustainable.
I mean,
it
it's
wouldn't surprise me a fucking bit if.
But is it not sustainable when you have a guy that's rushing for 2K like Saquon and an arguable league MVP at running back and,
but
and some
you
of
have
those
to be
things?
a multifaceted.
I'm just
They
saying.
didn't-
No, I agree.
Somebody's
No,
gonna
the
start
Eagles-
to run down.
No, I
Eagles
agree with
start
you.
slow all the time. They always start slow. And the Commanders didn't punt last week, Riley. They didn't punt.
The Eagles can't start slow against the Commanders. I tell you that.
What do the Eagles look like when they're playing?
Didn't the
behind?
Commanders?
Do you know what the Eagles look like when they're playing?
I mean, I think it looks like the last time the Commanders played the Eagles, and I think the Commanders won, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm saying, dude, like that's a hell of a fucking offense to keep up with, because their defense is gonna give you opportunities. Commanders' defense is not great. They're gonna give you opportunities, but because that offense, they didn't punt. It's the third time they didn't punt.
Yeah,
It
that's nuts.
was the fucking Lions in Detroit. They didn't punt.
yeah,
It's a 76-point game and they blew them out.
Yeah, that was wild work. So you got the.
It's like these guys. They're like, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles can beat a team that scores 35 points? They haven't thrown for over 150 yards in over a month. If they get 35 dropped on them, that's a long day for a running back. Saquon Barkley had a phenomenal year. That's a long day.
But it's also a different.
That defense is nasty. So.
But when you're running the ball the way they do, it's a whole different piece to it because they're managed, with the clock and all of those things. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
I think what you saw last night in that national championship is the same thing as a team that came out and that ran the ball. That's what they did. They ran the ball and played defense, and Ohio State didn't exactly just run the ball and play defense, respectfully. So I think
balanced offense. They go into halftime 28-7. The game was already fucking over.
Right.
And they've been doing that to motherfuckers all year.
I think you could see a similar situation happen in that game. But again, there is a piece of me that if that run game is successful, Saquon had 2 60-yard touchdowns last week. 2 60-yarders, bro. That's insane. 60 plus. Like, if Saquon's doing that and he does that again, I'm not saying it's sustainable. It's just like any other big play offense. But when you do it twice, lightning don't strike the same place twice, is all I'm saying. And you're doing it in the playoffs, and you did it all season, and all that kind of stuff. It's hard for me to say, like, for certain. I like the Eagles a lot in that game. They're especially with their defensive front, their defensive backs are playing really good too. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's definitely
gonna be hard for Washington.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. So I have.
Yeah, they're definitely. The Eagles is definitely way better. The Eagles defense is probably the best defense left of the 4 teams.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I think
it is for sure.
4 teams. And I got it, but I gotta think Dan Quinn is, if Dan Quinn can get his defense to a place where we just have to make Jalen Hurts beat us. I don't think Jalen Hurts can beat them.
No, I agree.
Not from what the fuck I've seen.
I agree.
Like, and they have crazy guys on both. I mean, Devonta Smith and AJ Brown is a great fucking duo, man. Like, they have weapons everywhere.
No,
Jalen Hurts is just, and you could say that Jalen Hurts hasn't needed to fucking really sling the ball crazy lately because they have been winning these games, and that's a result of a crazy good offensive line, great fucking running back, averaging over 6 yards per carry before contact. Like, yeah, that's gonna help you a fucking ton. But man, if Dan Quinn can even slow down Saquon and just say Jalen Hurts has to fucking beat us, that's a long fucking day
no,
for the Eagles.
I agree with you completely.
Eagles that I've seen, not, and I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan, and I know what the fuck that kid's capable of. And I'd love to see it. I think that'll be a great game. I think we're looking at two great games. One of them's a half-point spread right now. I don't even know what the other one is. I'm sure the Eagles are probably like 2.5, 3.5 favorites.
Yeah,
That would
no,
be my guess.
the Bills and Eagles were what I picked in our little playoff pool, and the biggest reason I kept picking the Eagles in the NFC was this was before the Nakobe Dean injury for sure, but it was their defense and just what you said,
Bro.
their depth defensively, and then their offensive line and Saquon Barkley. It had nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It had nothing to do with
Right.
AJ Brown. It had, you know what I mean? It had nothing to
Yeah,
do
no,
with
the shit's
Devontae
been
Smith.
working all fucking year.
So that's the reason I couldn't pick against them. And the way the bracket went, they weren't gonna play. Uh, they weren't gonna play Detroit until this game. And again, I went back to the depth defensively, the run game, and the offensive line, and I had to take the Eagles in it. I had the Lions probably like most of America in the NFC Championship game at least, if not in the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl. I think that was shock and awe to all of us. I don't think there's a football fan out there that didn't want to see Dan Quinn and the Lions win a Super Bowl. I think that would be awesome. They definitely took a huge step in that program's direction. I mean, compared to what it was before he was hired, that dude's done some great things. But I got, I got, I still got. I'm riding with the Eagles in the Super Bowl too. I think it'll be the Eagles and the Bills, and it'll be a less than a 7-point game, and the Eagles win it. What about you? Somebody else go.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
the
I
Super
think,
Bowl,
Super Bowl, yeah.
yeah, mine. I got at this point,
so annoying.
I gotta say Chiefs Eagles again. Repeat from a couple years ago.
That's the logical answer.
Yeah.
That's the logical answer. Who wins? We know who wins.
Yeah, we've already seen this.
God, that's what I mean. It's like if they make it, it's done. It's not even done if they make it. I hope to tell you, man, I hope to God, it's the Bills, and I don't even give a fuck which of the other two fucking NFC teams it is. I think the Bills are gonna win the whole fucking thing. I don't even care. I'd love to see. It doesn't even matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Go
It
Bills.
would be cool to see a rookie quarter. It would be cool to see a rookie quarterback have that dope of a season and make the fucking Super Bowl year. That doesn't
Right.
happen. That'd be fucking sweet. And at the same time, Eagles are just fucking loaded. I'm a huge Jalen Hurts guy. It'd be cool to see Saquon year one, new offensive line. You know what I mean? Make it to the big one. But I really want the Bills to win the whole thing. I'll just fuck it. I'll say the Bills and Eagles and Bills win. I really want the Bills to win the whole thing.
Do you think they crush them? What do you think the spread is?
No, I don't think anybody crushes anybody in the remaining, 3 NFL games we have left.
I think Kansas City could do some things against the Commanders. Personally,
Yo, yeah.
I think that could
It's
get out
just
of hand.
keeping up with God. I think. Well, let me ask you this. So we've always, I guess I didn't get any disagreements really, any pushback about the Eagles having probably the best defense left in the NFL.
Hmm.
Who has the best offense? I swear to God, it's the Washington Commanders. I swear to God, it's the Washington Commanders.
Buffalo.
It's crazy to think.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's having a pretty.
Nah,
good.
it's
He's
gotta
an
be the
MVP
Eagles.
year.
Yeah, it's gotta
See,
be the Eagles.
this is where there's differentiation. See, he's
Bro,
Who
saying
do you
listen,
have for
roster
MVP?
wise, the Eagles.
Who do
the
you have
Eagles
for
the
MVP?
best- hold on.
Ronnie?
The Eagles have the best offensive line left.
Mhm.
They have the best wide receiver group left. They have the best running back left.
They have
and
the
their
fourth best quarterback.
But he's
No,
he's a quarterback
Third
that's
or
been to a
fourth.
Super Bowl and was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're not obviously the best offense in totality. And if there's one that
Ron,
you have
listen,
to give
the
above
roster,
them,
I
the
won't
only
argue
one
that.
you can put
Roster, I won't
above
argue
them
that,
is
but
the
production,
Chiefs. I mean,
it's
production
Commanders,
though, you know, they give pass
Commanders
yards.
the Commanders look like fucking Alabama, bro. Their offense literally looks like Alabama. Like they're not punting. It's
feel you.
crazy.
But
They're
they're
going
probably
for it on
also
fourth.
more likely
They're going
to.
for it on fourth, just like Dan Campbell and the Lions always fucking did, and it just keeps working, bro. They're converting all of them.
No, it's a good point.
Like they can't get off the fucking field. You can't get those motherfuckers off the field. You can catch Philly on some 3 and outs with again, slow starters, a lot of fucking running, a lot of fucking play action that doesn't go real far. The Commanders are a nightmare to get off the fucking field in the last month and a half. It's been crazy.
I mean, all right. So
it's clearly the Eagles.
Listen, this is what I'll say, kind of, especially to Jalen Hurts' defense, I guess. I mean, the guy threw for 5 interceptions this year. Yes, he only threw 18 touchdowns, but the production from Saquon and the way that works the clock and all of those other things, all taken into consideration, that dude is doing exactly what he needs to do. Like, what more do you want when you have the running back who's an MVP candidate at running back? Like, what more do you want from a guy he threw 5 picks?
No, I hear you.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
I hear you.
It's hard for me to really. That's got to be the best offense.
I love Jalen.
The Eagles have to be the best offense left. Have to be.
Roster wise, I'm telling you, bro. I'm watching the fucking schematics of Washington.
So then, who is you? You have Washington.
No, I think the Eagles win the game. I think the Eagles win the game.
But I'm saying, like, you think Washington is the best offense right now left?
I think as a defensive coordinator, yes.
I think
I'm
well, if we're talking,
I
think I'm scratching my head the most with Buffalo because of the amount of evenness the ball has been distributed throughout the last 2 games.
Yeah.
To be completely honest
There's
with
arguments to be
you,
made everywhere.
like if I'm a defensive coordinator, I gotta stop Jaden Daniels. If I'm a defensive coordinator against Buffalo right now, I gotta stop every one of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And Josh Allen.
How do you stop Jaden Daniels though when he's a 145.6 passer rating against blitz all season? If you blitz him, he is phenomenal.
Don't blitz him. It sounds like
it's a first down. If you blitz Washington, it's a first down.
Don't blitz.
You just gave them a first down.
Spy, zone coverage, stuff like that. I don't know. You know.
Dog. No. You
know what I mean. If somebody is crushing you against the blitz, it sounds like you probably shouldn't do it. That's just my genuine opinion.
Right. No, absolutely. But of course, Aaron Glenn wants to be fucking cute, and he's like, "Fuck that, 0 blitz."
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 times straight. It's like, all right, man. Like you got to pay attention to the numbers at some point. That kid's getting the ball off when he's out of the pocket.
Yep. You're not keeping him in the pocket. You're calling that blitz. You don't have a guy like Aiden Hutchinson on the edge to keep him contained and get home. You know, there's a lot of things that go into that. But that's my thing.
Did you ask me who my MVP is?
No, I was asking Ronnie.
I wasn't here for that episode.
Neither of y'all were.
Oh shit!
You want to end with that real quick?
Yeah.
It's Lamar Jackson for me.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, no, same. I was just gonna
but
say the
same.
I don't think you
was
guys
Josh
heard.
Allen briefly, but Lamar, nah.
So
you just have to look at the numbers at the end of it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm with you, but I applied the same logic they did to the Defensive Player of the Year last year. So who do you think my pick was?
Oh, the same logic as than Josh Allen.
Bang.
Same logic as Defensive Player of the Year.
You like that?
They're just
PFF?
what? Because they're not going to get. They can't give it to him again. Is that the logic?
I mean, isn't that what was pretty what?
Well, that
somebody's.
happens everywhere. That's why Joel Embiid got an MVP year or two. Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy it.
But it's like, how do you give Lamar Jackson MVP last year and he played so much better this year than he did last year?
Well,
He got more passing yards now, and he got more passing touchdowns now, and he got less interceptions
and for Gunners,
rushing yards.
Gunner's not here, but
crazy.
I gotta argue Gunner's point. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but you
He's
can't be the most
absolutely in
valuable
that
player on
conversation.
a team that didn't get you to the playoffs.
But this
Yeah.
and my
No, well,
my
that's the
argument
thing.
my argument was this. My argument was this. Hear me out. If his team is winning at all, and there's any defense to speak of, does his numbers look like that? Like he is.
That's a great question. Yeah, there's a lot of his numbers from what he's forced to do because of being behind.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reality of Joe Burrow leading the league in passing, was that he was playing from behind all game. Like,
You know,
he had an advantage statistically.
go look at Deshaun Watson's numbers, bro. One of the biggest reasons they are what they are, and I'm not even just hating because he's Cleveland Brown, or because when he was in Houston, they weren't that good. I think they made, and he was playing from behind.
Yes.
That his yeah, bro. People are playing some off coverage. You have a higher completion percentage. You're getting some decent yards. Yeah, you're gonna score a touchdown here or there, because different reasons. But it's just you're eventually somebody's gonna pop a tackle or something, and therefore he had the numbers he did because of that. And I think it's kind of similar. I'm not taking anything away. Joe Burrow's really I take him any day over the quarterback situation.
MVP
My
caliber.
team, yeah, but at the same time, I don't think his stats are fair to compare to the rest of the people we mentioned with Allen and Lamar.
Also, like, obviously a team with a backup quarterback is not going to be like great, but like the Bills without Josh Allen, we would have been right about them in the beginning of the season. Like they're not a loaded team. Like Josh Allen is literally single-handedly made them. They're in the AFC Championship, and I swear to God, it's solely because of him.
Bro, the even ball distribution amongst receivers.
They don't have a sack leader like the Bengals. They don't have a triple crown wide receiver like they have Khalil Shakir and Matt Hall. That was my argument for Josh Allen to potentially get MVP, because it's like, look at the numbers he had, look at the wins that and he's throwing to Khalil Shakir and Matt Hollins.
Yeah.
It's an okay O-line. Like, Deion Dawkins is very good. Aside from that, the O-line is not great.
He has 11 rushing touchdowns as well, which is a lot.
I know. That's what I mean. That's case in point. Team on his back. Team trusts him. Coach trusts him. It's you.
That's why I took Allen. Those things.
So that's why I'm sure he got a ton of votes. But at the end of the day, dude, the same motherfuckers that named Lamar Jackson or All-Pro QB1 this year are the same ones who have MVP votes. What does that tell you?
Yeah,
they have to give it to him again.
I'll buy it.
You're not gonna make him fucking All-Pro QB1 and then say, oh, but he wasn't the MVP. It's like, yes, he was the MVP. He made a lot of insane shit this year look like it was fucking elementary. I've never seen anything like what Lamar Jackson did this year.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen it in my life. I don't know if I'll ever see it again. Does he decline now? Like, he can't get better than this, right? Does this start the decline? Serious question. How do you develop further than this? Are you telling me he hasn't hit the peak? What are we looking at, a 50 touchdown fucking 2 interception season with fucking 1,500 rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns? Like, is there a medium? Is
He's
this
a creative
Is he
player.
on the decline now? 'Cause if he's on the decline now, that's really bad for. The
Well,
Raiders.
I think actually the Ravens are just going to start with 10 free points, and they're going to play with one less offensive player the entire game because they have Lamar Jackson. So it'll buff. I'm just kidding.
I believe Lamar Jackson will.
No, I agree. I completely agree, especially when you look at some of the things that you're talking about. But again, like I said, I'm literally just applying the same logic they did to Defensive Player of the Year last year,
Yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Allen.
No, you're good. It makes sense. It's not crazy. And I just made an argument for Josh Allen too. That wouldn't be crazy
Because I'm
either,
pretty
but
sure in the
AP
same people who vote in
Warren.
the AP All Pro teams were the same people who had TJ Watt above. Well, I guess there's two outside edge guys, but they had TJ Watt and Miles Garrett there, and Miles. But again,
Yeah, they got to flip a coin.
Yeah,
They had the
wild
luxury of
work.
flipping the old coin.
But that about wraps it up for me for 32. Anything else for the betterment of the people?
Go Bills.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the way to victory. EA.